What's up, guys? Coming to you from Tustin. I wanted to show you this nice sunrise. But in this video, I'm going to discuss like a little bit of the weather in Tustin, what I've been experiencing with it, and then we're going to jump into mass psychosis, what mass psychosis is, how a population can kind of be overcome by it, and really what just the whole process, and understanding some signs we can look out for in a way that we can kind of adjust and adapt to these things. So first things first, the weather. Tustin's pretty cool. It's December right now, so we're getting like into the winter. And so, I don't know if you can see my breath, but essentially right now it's kind of cold during the morning. It might be like in the 45, 50 degree range. And then during the day, it actually gets up to like 70-ish. So depending on where you're from, you can wake up on a sweatshirt and then kind of dive into swimsuit by the time you are getting to noon. So I just wanted to give you a quick weather update in Tustin, what it's like in December, what I've been experiencing. And let's jump into mass psychosis. So mass psychosis. This is a pretty interesting conversation to have. It was a conversation I had this yesterday morning with some family. And a huge thing that occurs, right, is an example of this. Let's start with an example. An example would be like in the 20th century where you have these millions of people killing other people. Let's take Hitler's Germany, Mao's China, Stalin's Russia. And I think the key thing to understand here is that we try to associate these events to just that one person. However, this is actually the entire society at large that has been swept over by this ideology and this understanding, or this line of thinking where there's a parasite in their society and it's their job to eradicate them, or life's unfair, so we need to balance the tables. And the way that this kind of psychology works is you essentially will have the ruling class and then the ruled, the people that get ruled, and then you have the rulers. Now, I think majority of us could probably relate a little bit more to the ones being ruled, myself included. Or you could also view this as kind of the working class. These are people who, this is the part of society where we'll get triggered into anger. We'll get in this place of fear or guilt or shame. And what happens is that whenever that happens, the rulers will take a little bit more of control. They'll take a little bit more of your freedom. And they'll do it in your best interest or to keep you safe. And what happens is that, and you see this in the media all the time, is they'll create this fear, take some control, and then have a little bit of calmness. They'll take more fear. They'll pull fear out of somewhere else to pull you back down, and then a calmness. But what happens is that you start down here, you have fear, and then it goes down to calmness. Fear, calmness, fear, calmness, fear. And as you notice, over time, you're way past that starting point over here, and you end up being in this place of a lot deeper fear. And the whole goal of this is, well, I don't know that there is a goal. Let's put it like this. The fact that occurs is that when you have this divide, this great divide between rulers and rulees, your subjects, the rulers and the subjects, the rulers start to believe that they are God, and they are giving God's gift to earth. You can look at this in any text from from Hitler to, these crazy warlords, or not even warlords at that, but people who have carried out mass genocides and their people help. The rulers believe that they are God. They believe that they are perfect. And if society was organized the way that they wanted, then the world would be perfect. So this occurs from this constant taking of more power. It's like this, well, if everyone just listened to me, then the world would be the perfect thing. But we all know that we're human, right? Even the ones at the top of the ring are human. And this is actually an interesting reference in 300, where Leonidas like throws the spear at the end, because everyone in Egypt thinks this guy's like a god. I don't really remember the exact thing, but he like throws a spear and it like kind of clips his cheek, and he bleeds, and the whole thing is like, well, he's a god, he shouldn't bleed. And then Leonidas hits him with like this spear and he starts bleeding. And the point is that we're all human at the end of the day. Everyone you see on TV, everyone that you pass by, they're human. Like, we all have the same flaws, and we all have, well, we obviously have some little bit of differences here on, specialities, niches. Like, I have some skills better than you, but you have some skills better than me. You get what I'm saying? But the point is that we need to optimize and take care of everybody, right? When you have this divide, it creates this psychological impotence. Man, I'm trying to sound smart. I don't know if that's the right way to use the word impotence. But you have this divide, right? And so then the rulers will then go out and, try to become God. And then the rulees, which is, I think, an important thing to hit on, is the rulees are okay with the comfortability of giving up their power, giving up their freedom, because it's in their best interest. It's okay to be controlled, manipulated. Well, let me slow up here a little. The rulees think of it in a little bit more situation like, well, I'm afraid of these things, so let me give up freedom to be safer. Well, I'm afraid of this, so let me give up this to be safer. Because you want to feel safe. You don't want to be scared. You don't want to feel guilt or shame. And something that I'll leave it on this note, something that I've realized in the last few months of my life is that if you're afraid to do something, that's where you're going to find life's purpose. If you're afraid to quit your job and go travel the world, you might want to do it. Now, I understand that there's some logical things here and yada, 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 but usually that'll be your excuses running into your mind. That'll be the part of your mind that tells you to be safe, to not take a risk. It's difficult, it's challenging. You could die, let's be honest. But you could die at your desk working your 9 to 5 that you hate. And so would you rather die doing what you hate or doing what you love? Well, the choice is yours at the end of the day. So with that being said, thanks for listening to my ramble about my psychosis in Tustin. It's absolutely beautiful here. I'll get you guys some more updates as we go along. Other than that, let's grow together, conscious travelers. Wow, that came out odd. Conscious travelers. I think that's what we're going to go with now. Let's grow together. Let's how do we want to do that? Conscious travelers. Let's grow together. There it is. Let's do that.